Wanted to give you some information today. If you are ever thinking about putting in a pool, or you're in the process of putting in a pool, or you know someone that's going to be putting in a swimming pool, it's important information. We were putting in a swimming pool at our personal residence about 23 years ago, back in the early 2000s, and we contracted with Aquarius Pools because they were a 50-year-old company. They were a family-owned business. And during the process, I was walking through Walmart one day, and I was on the phone, and a woman was walking really close to me in my personal space. It was making me nervous. And so I quickly got off the phone and I asked her what I could do to help her. And she said, "I'm so sorry. I overheard that you say that you are going to be putting in a pool, and I wanted to give you some information." I said, "Okay." She said, "Are you financing the pool or are you paying cash?" I said, "We're financing." She said, "The information I want to give you is the finance company is going to send you about 8 checks, separate checks. And at the bottom of each check in the memo section, it will state what that is for. It'll say for excavation, that's the first stage. And then it'll say gunite, and it'll say, or plaster, and then it'll say electrical. Then the next check, it'll be for plumbing, and so on." And she said the last check will be it'll say completion. And she said, "Do not give that check to the pool company, to Aquarius, until the entire pool is completed and everything's been done to your satisfaction." And then the last part is, which this is the key. She said, "Don't give them that last check until you have received from your pool company all the lien releases." And something I didn't know at this time, which she taught me about, and I want to share with you today, is that when you hire a pool company to put in your pool, they then subcontract all of the work to be done. They hire an electrician, they hire the person to excavate, they hire the plumber, and so on. And so they put a lien, each of those subcontractors put liens on your home, on the title. And so you don't want to release that final check that says completion until the pool company has given you a copy of all the lien releases showing that the pool company, has paid those subcontractors. So I appreciate it. I thanked her for that information. Well, then everything was going according to plan, and our pool was coming along, and every time they'd finish a certain step, the pool company would call me and say, "Can we come pick up the check today?" And we'd make arrangements, and they'd come over and pick up that next check. Well, here we are. We've got one check left, the completion check, and the pool wasn't completed. The solar wasn't in for the pool. The diving board wasn't in. The pool light wasn't working. Some of the deck wasn't in yet. So they had quite a few things. So I said, "No, you're not going to pick up this last check where the pool's not completed, nor do we have any of the 8 lien releases." And so then the owner called me and said, "Oh, this is what we do. We pick up this last check and then we complete everything." And I said, "No, that's not what we're going to do. And I need a copy of all the lien releases." So we argued a bit on the phone, and finally, and he assured me, he said, "Business owner to business owner, this is how it's done." And I said, "Well, business owner to business owner, this is not how it's going to be done. I want a copy of all those lien releases, and the pool's going to be completed before you get this final check." So 3 months later, they get us a copy of all 8 lien releases and finish the pool to our satisfaction. Then about 3 days after we handed over that completion check, because we were satisfied and got all those lien releases, we see on the news that Aquarius Pools has filed bankruptcy. And they had left hundreds of homeowners all over the greater Sacramento area, where they had paid and financed and paid 100% for their pools to be completed. Homeowners had given up those checks, all of them, and now they didn't have the lien releases, and Aquarius had filed bankruptcy, leaving them, some of them, with just a hole dug in the ground. So what that means is these homeowners were going to have to, they had already financed and paid and given out these checks to the pool company. So now they were going to have to pay again to somebody else and come up with the money to have the pool completed. So I hope this is helpful to you. It was certainly helpful to me. I wish I knew that lady that stopped me while I was shopping in Walmart, and it was so kind of her to give me that information. I wanted to pass that on to each of you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.